Guard is on. I don't think that goes on the headline. All right. Hang on, Deuce. In the 100th year of Marquette basketball, high hopes for a return to March glory. A critical December stretch continues with Fresno State in town. Inside the Bradley Center, Marquette fans planning on making a chilly Tuesday evening golden. In the 100th year of Marquette basketball, high hopes for a return to March glory. A critical December stretch continues with Fresno State in town. Inside the Bradley Center, Marquette fans planning on making a chilly Tuesday night golden.
Champions of the world, Denver Broncos.
It is caught for the win!
Danny Willett has won the Masters.
Jason Day,
Major champion.
Derrick Henry will win it. Villanova, phenomenal!
In the 100th year of Marquette basketball, high hopes for a return to March glory. A critical December stretch continues with Fresno State in town. Inside the Bradley Center, Marquette fans planning on making a chilly Tuesday night golden.
Michael Jordan, they won it! Wow! Oh my goodness! How about that? Oh boy! Unbelievable! Dreams to come true. As good as it gets.
In downtown Milwaukee at the home of the NBA's Bucks, the home of the Marquette Golden Eagles out of the Big East, the Bradley Center, as the Golden Eagles take on Fresno State from the Mountain West. With Pete Gillen, Carter Blackburn, and what is a big week for Marquette basketball, you have kind of a tricky one on Tuesday night.
Marquette is coming off a giant win at Georgia on Sunday. But against Fresno State, it could be a trap game because they have another gigantic game on Saturday against Wisconsin. And plus, Marquette wants to build their resume to go back to the big dance.
Now, the Golden Eagles have kind of messed with the starting lineup this year, but the one constant has been Hanif Cheatham.
Hanif Cheatham is a jack of all trades. He plays the 1, 2, or 3 position. He can knock down a three-point shot. He can get to the rim and finish around the basket. He's an excellent rebounder. He rebounds physically off the offensive, defensive boards. He makes great decisions on the break. He's very good off the pick and roll. He really is a leader. He loves to slam to the basket. He can take over a game at any time.
So Marquette has won 4 straight. Fresno State has won 3 straight. Jerron Hopkins is starting to take it over for the Bulldogs.
Jerron Hopkins is an explosive player. He's very, very talented, tremendous athlete. He shoots 52% from the field, 15 points a game. He's a leader. He really does a great job. He's got to play well tonight for them to win.
Fresno State on the road in Milwaukee against Marquette. It is the first time that Fresno State has played a road game at a Big East opponent. It's the Bulldogs and the Golden Eagles, and we'll tip it off next. Monday night at the Bradley Center, it was the Spurs edging the Bucks. On Tuesday night, it's the Marquette Golden Eagles against the Fresno State Bulldogs. Fresno State was won 3 straight. Rodney Terry, last year in his 5th season as Fresno State head coach, guided Fresno State to the NCAA tournament for the first time since 2001. Had to replace 3 starters off of that team, so in 2016-2017, now in his 6th season. Take a look at the starting lineups for both teams. And beginning with Fresno State, Jerron Hopkins, a transfer from Colorado, had the overtime winner on Saturday at Drake, along with Watson, Taylor, Williams, and Russo. And for the Marquette Golden Eagles, you see the youth movement in the starting lineup with Howard and Hauser starting. This is their 5th straight start. They have won all 4 they've started, including Sunday at Georgia. So for Steve Wojciechowski in his 3rd season as the head coach of the Marquette Golden Eagles, some of that lineup tinkering, Pete, has paid off with the freshmen playing big minutes, including, first true road game for the freshmen on Sunday. You beat Georgia.
They both played great. It's amazing. On the road, ice foot in their veins, ice water.
So Marquette out of the Big East against Fresno State from the Mountain West Conference. Williams and Luke Fisher will jump center. Jeff Clark trying to make Fisher wait it out. Fresno State wins the opening tip. Pete, you touched on it. It's a test for Marquette because you have a young team. All right, you go on the road Sunday, you beat Georgia. Everybody's already talking about your Saturday matchup against Wisconsin here in this building. And oh, by the way, in between Tuesday night, an opponent you're not that familiar with, who was an NCAA tournament team last year.
Exactly. You got to be consistent. Every night you got to play hard. It's a big game. You can't overlook Fresno. Great win on the road at Georgia, but you don't want to slip back and lose at home to a good Fresno State team.
That is a shot clock violation on the opening possession for the Bulldogs of Fresno State. So that's a good defensive start for the Golden Eagles.
Yeah, they play very hard. Wojciechowski, when he played at Duke, was great competitive, very intense, and this team reflects their coach.
Cheatham brings it up for Marquette. They've won 4 straight after the 2 losses at Madison Square Garden to Michigan by 18. Hit when they blew a double-digit lead, so they've responded since. Marcus Howard misses the 3, boarded by Watson. Overtime on Saturday for Fresno State, so it's a long road trip for Fresno State. You play at Drake, send them to 1-7, and then on the road against Marquette and Milwaukee.
And Fresno has 3 new starters, Carter, as you know, so they're trying to find themselves.
11 to shoot here. Team picked 4th in the Mountain West Conference, Fresno State, but they overachieved last year. Finished 2nd in the regular season, won the conference tournament.
And each year, Fresno State has gotten more league wins the last 4 years, which is great.
Watson with 4 to shoot. Taylor. That is another shot clock violation. Pete, back-to-back shot clock violations to begin for the Bulldogs.
Credit the defense by Marquette, doing an excellent job, but Fresno State is also an excellent defensive team. They hold their opponents at 39% from the field, Carter, which is outstanding.
Johnson to Howard on a back cut, swatted out by Jerron Hopkins.
Yeah, tremendous athlete. One of the top guys in the country in steals. Terrific athlete. He's inside, thought he had a layup. Great defense that time by Hopkins.
Johnson. That's a tie-up. Possession's going to keep it with Marquette.
The fans stand, Carter, as you know, until Marquette scores. So, once again, you could get some arthritis if they stay cold.
This is Sam Hauser on the wing. The outstanding freshman from Stevens Point. Back to Howard, the freshman from Chandler, Arizona. And that's an offensive foul. Goes on Luke Fisher. So way away from the ball. Fisher called for his first. And almost 2 minutes in, nobody scored. So, yeah, continue to stand.
Yep. And I don't think they're allowed to drink beer either, Carter, until they score. So
Hopkins dumps it off inside. Bryson Williams finishes off the dunk for the game's first points. Howard has taken over the point guard duties in the 4-game winning streak for Marquette. This is Cheatham. I need Cheatham on the drive, and he draws a foul. Now, Cheatham hasn't done a lot of scoring the last 2 games, has only 7 points in the last 2. He's continued to play well, but a bit of a disappearing act Sunday at Georgia.
Exactly. Didn't play well there, but he's a steady guy. He does everything pretty well, Carter. He rebounds, he passes. He plays more minutes than any other Marquette player because, you know, Wojo has a lot of trust in him. Go inside to Luke Fisher.
Drawing the double. Fisher finishes with a left for the first Marquette bucket.
So you got to do, you got a 5th-year senior and Luke Fisher going against a freshman, Bryson Williams, for Fresno State.
This is Hopkins off the dribble. The Colorado transfer back to Cullen Russo.
I would go at Fisher, try to get him in foul trouble if I'm Fresno State.
Hopkins lobs, and it's taken away by Howard. The 3rd turnover already by Fresno State in 4 possessions. And Howard answers with a 3. 5 straight for Marquette. Marcus Howard, the freshman, who is shooting now over 50% from 3.
Amazing. Him and Sam Hauser coming into the game, 50% from 3-point land.
Hopkins draws 2 defenders, so back to Taylor into the corner. Russo. 9 to shoot. Bryson Williams right at Luke Fisher. That's a big move for the freshman Williams.
That's what I would do. It could have been a foul, too. I would go right at Luke Fisher. Terrific big guy, but he's the only experienced big man for Marquette.
Williams has all 4 for Fresno State. Cheatham on the wing into the post for Fisher. Draws the double. Fisher going baseline, and that's clearly a matchup problem for Fresno State.
No question. Bryson Williams is a 6'7", 6'7.5" freshman going against a 5th-year senior who's got about 45, 50 pounds on him. That's a mismatch. You got to double early, I think, if you're Fresno State.
Watson off the curl, guarded by Cheatham. Hopkins, Russo, open in the corner. Howard has another rebound. Cheatham on the break, attacks Hopkins, draws the foul, sending us to an official timeout. So after a slow start for both the Golden Eagles and the Bulldogs, starting to get on a roll. Williams, the first 4 for Fresno State. Luke Fisher, efficient.
This Marquette moment is presented by the Journeyman Hotel. From 1980 to 1983, Marquette made 3 more trips to the NCAA tournament, thanks in part to the play of All-American and eventual Bulls pick Sam Worthing and budding star Glenn Doc Rivers. The first McDonald's All-American in school history scored over 1,200 career points, with no shot more memorable than this winner over number 5 Philippine in January 1981. Rivers developed under the leadership of legends They
talk to me so much about that person, taking a stance. That gave me a foundation to lead on.
By the end of the 1980s, All-American Tony Smith was filling the nets with his 1,688 career points. And in 1988, Marquette played its first games in its brand new downtown home, the Bradley Center, where Marquette is currently playing its 29th season. This Marquette moment was presented by the Journeyman Hotel.
Work is sponsored by Lending Tree. When banks compete, you win. By AT&T, mobilizing your world. And by Icy Hot Smart Relief TENS Therapy. Turn off pain.
7-4 start for Marquette on the Fresno State Bulldogs. Let's take a look at tonight's Icy Hot player profile, and it is the fifth-year senior from Germantown, Wisconsin, just north of Milwaukee. Started his career at Indiana, but he has been terrific through the years with the Golden Eagles.
He's done a great job. He's gotten better and better. Fifth year, as you mentioned, preseason All-Big East, second team, leads the team in rebounds and field goal percent. Terrific player.
63% career field goal percentage. That is the best in Marquette history. He's only better than this year with 75%. Meanwhile, for Fresno State, very bad news as Jerron Hopkins has already picked up his second personal foul. So the guy who's averaging 14.4 points per game, he and Watson the leading scorers. They need Jerron Hopkins, and he's going to be on the bench for a while with his second.
He might sit the whole rest of the first half, Card. A lot of guys do that. I didn't. I'd like to rest him for a while, put him in. You don't want to get him out of their flow, but each coach knows the player. Some players can't play with two, but I would, get him back in before. But I think Ronnie's going to keep him out the rest of the half unless they really get down.
Now, Rodney Terry said there's one thing we can't do tonight: turn the ball over. 3 turnovers already. Russo misses the dunk. Back into the hands of Marquette. So you got 3 turnovers for Fresno State. 4+ minutes in, and 2 fouls on your leading scorer, Hopkins.
Got a good resume right now for Fresno State. I think they're playing good D, Card. I like their defense. They're hanging around with that. Their offense is struggling right now, trying to find themselves.
Into Fisher in the post, finds a cutting Hauser, and that's Sam Hauser finishing with the left, a freshman from Stevens Point.
Most of his shots are 3-point bombs, but that was a nice cut off the ball, but a great pass by Luke Fisher. They're running the offense with a big guy, Carter, which is very smart by Marquette.
Terrell Carter into the game for Fresno State to try and get more size. The 6'10 junior misses his first look, and the Bulldogs are down 7 and a foul call. That's on to Sean Taylor, his first. And Sam Bittner into the game, a guy who averages only 11 minutes a game, 2 points on the year, but trying to get some more execution. They bring in Bittner for Russo.
He's solid, plays good D, runs the offense, very good player. We got now for Marquette, who plays 10 guys. Caden Reinhardt is a terrific shooter, transfer from Southern Cal. And he's very, very good player. Helt is in, another big guy. Rousey, number 30, and Dwayne Wilson. So it's group substitution, like a hockey line.
Cheatham throws it away, looking for a slipping hell, but it was touched by Fresno State. Marquette keeps it.
Marquette plays 10 players, Carter, as you know, over 12 minutes a game, which is very tough to do. But right now they're doing it. It's helping them. Scoring 87 points a game, second in the Big East.
Reinhardt knocks down the 3. The senior in his 3rd program. Played his freshman year at UNLV, then earned his degree at USC, so graduate transfer, doesn't have to sit. Coming off the bench for the 4th straight game.
It's like a microwave oven. When it gets hot, Carter, forget about it.
Taylor finds Terrell Carter underneath for Fresno State. That ends a 9-0 Marquette run.
Marquette's running 4 out, 1 in. 4 guys in the perimeter, 1 post guy. Once in a while he'll step out and set a ball screen.
Cheatham traveled. So the frustrations continue for Hanif Cheatham.
Yeah, struggling a little bit right now, and that's one of the points of emphasis is the travel call, Carter. Last 6-7 years, they're getting away with a lot, like the NBA, but now they're tightening up on it. I like that. Big advantage if you can drag that pivot foot if you're an offensive player.
Paul Watson will reset, the senior from Phoenix. Jamel Taylor off the dribble. Back to Watson, 8 to shoot for Fresno State. Watson floater. Offensive foul called.
Watson, terrific, nice crossover. Goes by his man, Juwan Johnson. I thought that was a block guard. I don't think he was there in time. It's the toughest call in the game, block charge. pressure the ball now if you're Fresno State.
Reinhardt misses Watson the board, trying to run the Bulldogs. Watson takes the three. Big opportunity for the Bulldogs. Instead, Rousey brings it back and buries the triple. And Marquette opens up an 11-point lead on Fresno State.
Tremendous three-point shooter. Transfer from UNC Asheville. Marquette shooting 39% from three-point land coming into this game.
Bittner misses. Wilson has the rebound. Long outlet. Reinhardt fouled on the way to the hole. It's on Bittner. Caden Reinhardt giving Marquette a boost off the bench.
Veteran guy, fifth-year senior, and can really score. He's a career 37% shooter from three-point land, been struggling so far early in the year, only shooting 29%, but he's a heck of a play, experienced from modern-day high school in California. Coach Gary McKnight is a legend out there, and terrific player, great transfer for Marquette.
Reinhardt gets the first two. And Jerron Hopkins continues to sit. Got his second foul at the 15-26 mark. At that point, it was a 7-4 game. And with Hopkins sitting, that lead has now ballooned to 12 for the Golden Eagles. Make it 13 as Reinhardt gets them both.
That's the question. When do you put him back, or do you put him back? I take a chance. You don't want to be politically correct, right, and be down 20. I wait a little longer, then I put him back in. But every coach knows their own player, whether they can play with two fouls.
Watson, kick out. This is Taylor for three. Fight for the rebound. Out of bounds off of Carter, so Marquette gets it back up by 13. Well, Pete, if you're Steve Wojciechowski and you say, all right, Sunday, you go on the road and you beat Georgia, and you're looking for focus on Tuesday night with a quick turnaround, this is the perfect start for the Golden Eagles.
Exactly. Playing great right now. Long game. Fresno State's got to get going. Work it through Paul Watson. I try to get him the ball. He's their best scorer. Get him the ball.
Back into the hands of Taylor. Off the screen, Johnson has the board. Andrew Rousey, the transfer from UNC Asheville, brings it back. Looks like the shot clock did not reset, so that will send us to an official timeout. So Rousey off the bench. The junior from Lexington, Virginia, via UNC Asheville with a triple. A 13-point edge for Marquette. Fresno State only 6 points on the board. They average 10 steals per game. So far in this game, 0 steals for the Bulldogs.
Credit to Marquette offense. Take good care of the ball.
Comfortable right now. They're way too comfortable. We got to sit down. And we're better than what we're showing right now. Come on. Chloe, one possession at a time. We'll get ourselves right back where we need to be. One possession at a time. Let's go. With this group here right now, take dribble.
Well, and Rodney Terry talking about trying to put pressure on Marquette because right now they're not feeling any.
Yeah, he's telling them, we got to be confident. We're getting good looks, he says. Hey, be confident. Right now, we're not playing relaxed and comfortable. And let's try to get Marquette out of their comfort zone. Let's put pressure on the ball. So he's a terrific coach. Did a wonderful job, as you know, last year, bringing Fresno State to the NCAA tournament for the first time since 2001. So I think the Bulldogs are going to get back in this game. But it's got to start with their defense.
Hauser again. Sam Hauser makes it 4 for 5 from three-point from Marquette after they made 13 threes Sunday at Georgia.
Shooting the ball great.
They give up a layup to Terrell Carter. How impressive is Sam Hauser be? The freshman from Stevens Point, the Panthers.
Tremendous. Terrific shooter. Can rebound. Can play the 1, 2, or 3, different positions. He's very, very good player.
Cheatham down the baseline. Pop by Russo. Play on. Loose ball. Still loose. Fight on the floor. Ends up for Fresno State. Oh, there's some fight from the Bulldogs.
I like that. Well, the coach is a fighter. This team's going to fight and get back in the game. Go inside. Go at Luke Fisher. Try to get him in foul trouble.
Carter again. So Terrell Carter was 6 points off the bench to carry Fresno State.
Nice job. He's got to play a lot of minutes, but he gets in foul trouble also. So he's got to stay on the floor for Fresno State to be effective tonight.
Fisher on the baseline finds Johnson for 3. Just the second missed 3 of the game for Marquette.
I think Cullen Russo can score against Hauser. There's Cullen Russo the ball.
Here is Russo. Picks up the dribble. So back to Taylor. Jamel Taylor fouled by Marcus Howard. So that fills Fresno State out a bit as Howard commits his first personal.
We see, trying to play defense. Nice pass inside. Excellent finish by Terrell Carter.
Deron Hopkins is checked back in the game for Fresno State. So here's Hopkins with the Bulldogs down by 12 out there with 2 personals. McWilliams misses the look.
I think it's a good move. It's a gamble, but once again, you're behind now. 22-10, Carter. You don't want to be way, way down going into the second half. It's got to be smart, though.
Sits for 6 minutes. Fisher turnaround, boarded by Russo. We'll see if Hopkins back on the floor can give Fresno State a boost.
He just has to be careful driving. He's got to pull up in the lane. Might not be able to get to the rim.
Deshaun Taylor. A little wild-looking layup, but it goes for Deshaun Taylor, the sophomore from Riverside, California.
Keep running your offense through Luke Fisher if on Marquette. Can't guard him.
Hauser in the corner, 9 to shoot. Howard off the screen from Fisher. Buries the 3. Howard hits the triple to extend the Marquette lead back to 13. That's 2 made threes, 6 points for Howard.
Tremendous shooter off the bounce. Not an easy shot.
Russo off the dribble, attacks Fisher, boarded by Hauser. Pushing ahead, Cheatham, Hanif Cheatham with a bold dunk from Juwan Johnson. Following the play, Johnson finishes it all.
Great hustle by Juwan Johnson.
"12 minutes in, only 12 points on the board for Fresno State, who's averaging 73 a game. And Bryson Williams, the freshman,
Six points for him. He's one little shining light so far for Fresno State.
Ford in the paint, kick out, Hauser again. Knocks down the triple. The 6th made three for Marquette. 8 points in the first half for Sam Hauser.
Terrific freshman. They average 10 threes a game. They might pass that by halftime.
That's out of bounds off Williams. Another Fresno State turnover. Well, the three's going down for Marquette even when the layups are missing. There's help from a fellow Golden Eagle, Jawan Johnson. Golden Eagles have won 4 straight, leading Fresno State by 16 during the last time out. We listened in to Steve Wojciechowski.
When we come down the floor, set up 2, watch for their pressure, all right? You guys at midcourt have to be active. Get the ball back into Rousey's hands. And I want to go cross down again. I want to go cross down again. You guys understand that? All right? The other thing is, if they switch it or whatever and you can't turn it, yes, be Haney, Sam, Andrew, Matt.
All right, Pete, translate that.
Well, he said swing the ball side to side. If we don't have it inside, skip it around and try to throw it inside and just keep reversing it. If they press us, we need the big guys to come back and help. So right now they're on a roll, Carter. 30-14, shooting terrific from three-point land. 6 for 8, 75%. Right now they're putting on a clinic offensively, and the freshman 3 for 3. Hauser and Marcus Howard, the other one 2 for 4. So they're playing great right now.
Now, that was the big move coming off the 2 losses at Madison Square Garden when Steve Wojciechowski went to those freshmen in the starting lineup, Howard and Hauser, and they haven't lost since. Now Fresno State out of the timeout.
Good pressure. Got to start with their defense. Wojo was talking about that in the huddle. We need the big guys to come back to release the pressure and get rid of it.
Fouls on Hauser, his first.
Got to get Jerron Hopkins going.
There's a foul called on Dwayne Wilson. That is his first. Now, Fresno State wanted to speed things up on Marquette and play a defense to offense game, and there just hadn't been much pressure on either end put on Marquette.
Nope.
Russo off the bounce, and he draws another foul. That's on Hauser as well, so that's 2 fouls on Hauser in a hurry to send him to the bench for a while.
Yeah. We got Reinhardt ready to come in. Marquette's got 10 good players, so the depth is really helping them so far this season. Nice drive, a little bump. It's almost a walk before that, Carter. Yeah, I thought it could have been a walk before that foul.
So here's Cullen Russo, the senior from Bloomington, Minnesota, who was huge in Fresno State's opening win against UTSA had 23 points and 10 rebounds, and the coaching staff thought the light had come on for Kellen Russo with that opener, and then the numbers just haven't been there, and they're trying to figure out something to light the fire under Kellen Russo.
I love his talent card. I think he's very talented. You know, he's getting 10 points a game. I think he can do so much more. He's got to have a sense of urgency when he plays. Sometimes he doesn't have that.
Fresno State expects to have Karachi Edo back at some point in the next few games. He was arrested on a domestic violence charge in May. Those charges were cleared up, and then he didn't make his grades, so was academically ineligible for the fall semester. So they expect to have Edo back at the end of the semester for Fresno State. Meanwhile, Marquette turns it over again.
Good pressure by Fresno State. They're counting the hours and the minutes to get Edo back. They need him inside. But meanwhile, Marquette only has one pure point guard, and that's, you know, Tracy is a, you know, excellent point guard, Tracy Carter.
Carter bothered inside by Matt Held, who checked into the game when Hauser got his second. Hanif Cheatham down the baseline. He's cut off. Back into the hands of Wilson. Dwayne Wilson. Boarded by Hopkins as the Bulldogs show a little life, down by 15. Hopkins off the bounce. Rejected. His first shot of the game is swatted away by Held. And now Cheatham behind a screen from Held. Misses the three. Hopkins there for the board.
Keep pushing it if you're Fresno State.
Russo attacks. Offensive foul. Matt Held has brought it from the Marquette bench on both ends. And you see Fisher and Hauser and everybody else cheering on the sophomore from Nina.
Russo attacks the basket. Good call. Held stepped in. Hit him in the chest. Another angle. Good call. He's outside the restraining line. Great defense by Marquette.
And Matt Held with a warm welcome as he heads back to the Marquette bench. Some solid minutes for the sophomore from Nino on Lake Winnebago.
Fresno State's got to keep pressure on the ball now. Pressure the basketball. Try to get some more turnovers. Can't give him too much space.
Reinhardt stepping in. Fisher follow dunk. Luke Fisher follows up the miss to give Marquette a 17-point edge.
Gets better and better. It's a tremendous offensive rebounder. One of the best offensive rebounders in the Big East.
Largest lead of the game for Marquette, trying to make it 5 straight going into their Saturday matchup against Wisconsin. That is out of bounds, off of Carter, back to the Golden Eagles.
Pressure the ball now. Rousey's a points guard. It's not a point guard. It's a points. Likes to score the points. They put pressure on him.
Johnson from the elbow. Good look for Juwan Johnson, the senior from Memphis Southwind High School. Marquette's leading scorer.
He's gotten better and better every year, Carter. Juwan Johnson.
Watson, wide open for 3. Much needed for Fresno State.
Fresno State's got to get the ball, get the score under 10, Carter, if possible. Just chip away, 4.5 minutes. Got to get some steals. Let the defense get their offense going. Pressure the ball.
Johnson jump stops. Bittner there to defend him. Back-to-back buckets for Juwan Johnson.
Marquette can score from all 5 positions on the court. Everybody can really score. Some teams have 3 or 4. They got 5 guys that can light it up. Go inside. Go at Luke Fisher. Try to get him in foul trouble.
9 to shoot. Watson picks up his dribble, dumps it off to Carter inside, finds a cutting Bittner. That is the 2nd basket of the year for Sam Bittner.
Bittner's just a solid player, good role guy. Does what he's asked. A hard-nosed player.
Wilson off the screen from Fisher. Fisher guarded by Carter, so kick it over to Rousey. He's fouled on a 3-point attempt. Jamel Taylor commits the foul.
We got guys coming off the bench for the Bulldogs. Reverse it inside. Double team the big fella. Bittner moves without the ball. Nice finish. Good offense by the Bulldogs.
.327 away from halftime here in Milwaukee. We'll send you to AT&T at the half with Brent Stover, John Rothstein, updating you on everything around college basketball, including at Madison Square Garden, Duke versus Florida. Kansas in action tonight as well against UMKC. #1 Villanova. Their first game is the new #1 team in the country against LaSalle in a Big 5 matchup. Carter Blackburn, Pete Gillen here in Milwaukee, where Luke Fisher has carried the load for the Golden Eagles.
Doing a great job. He's real big and thick. Got to double him early. Too strong, too big. Doing a great job. They're running the offense through Luke Fisher, and he's producing.
So Fisher, that 50-year senior, we talked about how, Marquette's gone to a bit of a youth movement, but Fisher, the 50-year senior, has been the real matchup problem that Fresno State didn't have an answer for.
He's a monster in the low post. 6'10", about 275 pounds. He's skilled. He can pass. 50-year guy. Very good player. Really tough.
So as we talked about Marquette having the big week and you're trying to build toward the NCAA tournament, Marquette hasn't been to the tournament since 2013. They went to the Elite Eight that year. They won the Big East, went to the Elite Eight under Buzz Williams, and now you're trying to get back to an NCAA tournament caliber team. I mean, not to make too much of a first half on a Tuesday night in December, but I mean, you're handling what's right now a tough test as efficiently as you could have possibly hoped.
Doing a great job. They're putting on a clinic offensively, shooting great from downtown, 6 for 10, 60%, controlling the boards, causing turnovers. They're doing everything, Carter, both ends of the floor, and two freshmen are really doing a terrific job.
All right, now you have Rousey getting 3 free throws here because he was fouled by Jamel Taylor shooting the 3. So 3 here and a chance to extend it to 19. 6 made threes in the game. That's a 3-point play from the free throw line. Marquette made 13 threes Sunday at Georgia. I guess you would say the good news is you're knocking down all the threes. I mean, should you be a little bit concerned that you're relying on the 3 at this point for the Golden Eagles?
If they're falling, they're falling. Right now, they're rolling. They're shooting 39% from 3 coming into the game, which is one of the best in the Big East. They're scoring 87 points a game. It's a terrific offensive team. As you know, last year they only made 5 threes a game. That was 9th best in the Big East. So, whole different team this year with the perimeter game.
Taylor knocks down a triple for Fresno State. Just the 2nd 3 for the Bulldogs.
I like it. Preston trying to get back in the game. It's a long climb. Down 16.
Marquette played through the post a lot last year with Henry Ellenson, who ended up was the 18th pick in the draft by Detroit. Missed 3 from Howard. Out of bounds off the Golden Eagles. Fresno State's going to get it.
You're surprised when they miss a 3-point shot, Carter. Right? They're really terrific from the perimeter. It's a long game, though.
Well, foul by Wilson on the inbound of Jamel Taylor. That's the 2nd on Dwayne Wilson. Foul at 94 feet from the basket.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. He's too smart for that, Dwayne Wilson. Good call. It was an excellent call by Lamar Simpson.
That was the 6th team foul against Marquette, so 1-1 next chance for Fresno State. Watson just lost it on the way up. Fisher was straight up, so no foul. Wilson attacks all the way to the rim for Dwayne Wilson.
One team can't finish, the other team does.
Wilson, the junior from Dominican High School. Played with Diamond Stone, who's now an LA Clipper.
Attacked the basket by Fresno. Fisher almost with a foul, it was close. Dwayne Wilson attacking the basket. Redshirt junior with the finish. He averaged 11 points a game last year. He was a starter. Now he's coming off the bench.
Marquette foul was on Marcus Howard. Russo misses the first two. College basketball tomorrow. The road to the Final Four continues with George Washington at Temple, 7:30 Eastern. The Owls led by Obi Anechionia. We saw him last week. A phenomenal performance against St. Joe's in that win in the Big 5 game.
He was awesome in that game. Knocked down threes, took it to the basket, posted up inside. He was fabulous in that win at St. Joe's.
Russo misses the second. And then Terrell Carter commits the foul for Fresno State, with Hopkins still on the bench for the Bulldogs. After he got 2 early ones, Carter commits that foul. Marquette has a 1-0. I mean, that's from the other basket on a free throw. That's a bad foul.
Bad foul. Can't do that, especially when they're in a 1-on-1 situation. I've been there. Coach Rodney Terry's got to be frustrated right now. But you're playing now for tonight as well as the rest of the season, so you got to keep swinging. This game's not over yet, but right now, Fresno's got to pick their game up a lot more to have any chance.
Fisher misses the front end of the 1-and-1. So back into the hands of Jamel Taylor.
Drive the ball if you're Fresno State. Drive the basketball. Attack the rim.
No, didn't work out that time. No. Cheatham on the run out. Hanif Cheatham lays it in. 43 in the first half from Marquette. Just 4 of them from Hanif Cheatham. So you're doing it for the Golden Eagles without a whole lot from Hanif Cheatham now for the 3rd straight game.
Yeah. He's struggling right now a little bit, but he's solid. Doesn't make mistakes. But offensively, I'd say he's usually gets 12 a game.
And then, yeah, Carter fouls again, 94 feet. That's the second on Terrell Carter.
Shot missed by Russo. Yeah, you can't do that. Good call. He's frustrated. He gets tired easily, so that might have been a foul because he was tired. Not good decision.
Question of whether it was a 1-and-1 or 2 shots. That is a 1-and-1. Marquette not in the double bonus yet. Fisher, who missed the last front end, knocks this one down. 75% field goal percentage on the year for Luke Fisher. Now, he's not stepping out to 17 feet, Pete, but 75% no matter what. That is 6th in the nation for the 5th-year senior from Germantown.
Very impressive, and he can hit that 16-foot baseline jump shot. Now, he's doing a great job, so the shooting three's great, but I like going through him. He's a good passer for a big man.
Right on his mark tonight, 3 for 4 shooting from the floor. Fisher gets both the free throws and then gets a steal on the other end. Sending the Golden Eagles on the run, they give it right back as Johnson turns it over, and then a foul committed by Rousey after the turnover with 1:10. So 1-and-1 coming here for the Bulldogs.
Marquette was picked 7th in the Big East in the preseason coaches poll. Well, they look to me like a better team than that, the way they shoot the basketball. The Big East is a great league, but I think they're in the top 5. I think in the upper half.
Finished 7th last year. 8-10 in the Big East. Taylor hits the first. Tonight, 10 Eastern, the greatest event in rodeo continues in Las Vegas. 15 All-Stars battle it out. 5 nights competition remaining This is where champions are made, the Wrangler National Finals Rodeo, right here on the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. Taylor gets them both. Reinhardt brings it up for Marquette.
Marquette, just take your time, be patient. You're in the one-on-one, you can drive the ball, you get the ball to the big fella, Luke Fisher. They have no answer for him.
Taken away by Watson. Watson attacks and misses the finger roll. That's how the first half is gone for Fresno State. Johnson brings it back, finds Cheatham, and that 4-point swing just about sums it up.
It's painful. Watson's a terrific player, but you got to finish that layup. Use the glass when you can. Go into the glass, use the glass when you can.
Johnson nearly gets the steal. There's a timeout called by Deshaun Taylor. So 20 seconds left in the first half, dominated by Marquette.
Yeah, you got to pronounce his name. I can't pronounce his last name.
The birthday man in the house, Giannis Antetokounmpo, celebrating his 22nd birthday. We got a chance to watch him up close and personal last night, Pete. Impressive.
He's unbelievable. He takes strides. He's athletic, young man. What a future he has. He was great last night. We had terrific seats. It was a lot of fun.
With a big thank you to Brian Anderson, the noted play-by-play announcer and golfer who makes his home here in Milwaukee. Voice of the Brewers, our colleague with Turner Sports at CBS. Yeah, Brian Anderson. A.J. Ellis did a remarkable job hosting us last night here in Milwaukee.
They were great. A.J. Ellis, a great catcher, and hopefully he'll continue his career. Class guy. So we had a wonderful time up close and personal with the Spurs, your Spurs. I know we can't say that too loudly here in the city where beer is very, very enjoyable.
Sure. No, you don't want any PBR cans hitting you in the back of the head when you talk about a Spurs win over the Bucks. But
yeah,
regardless, it was impressive.
Yeah, great game.
Meanwhile, Fresno State and Marquette. Bittner with the board. Last chance, Taylor knocks down the three. So ray of sunshine for Fresno State at the end of a dire first half. Marquette takes a 47-28 lead and a halftime. So the Golden Eagles rolling 47-28. Coming up next, we'll send you back to New York. AT&T at the half.
energy.
Marquette, during its 4-game winning streak, has averaged over 90 a game, and they are doing it to Fresno State. 47-28 at the half. I mean, a first half dominated by the Golden Eagles.
Every area of the game, Carter. 57% from the field, killing the board, 17-11. Turnovers, 10 turnovers for Fresno State, so Marquette is beating them in every phase of the game right now.
And especially from outside, this is what Marquette did to Georgia on Sunday when they made 13 threes in the win against the Georgia Bulldogs. Now they're doing it to the Fresno State Bulldogs.
Exactly. Right now, Fresno State's giving them too much space, coming off screens. They're too comfortable. They got to pressure the ball much better. 6 for 11 from three-point land, 54% for Marquette. And Luke Fisher is a monster. He's so wide and thick, you have to double-team him early. He's getting the ball in the post. He's dominating the paint offensively and defensively. Here we go. You drives in. Nice pass. Alger with the back cut. Can't let him touch the ball. Missed shot. You don't box him out. Makes you pay. Luke Fisher, fifth-year senior, transfer from Indiana. Terrific player for Marquette.
Fresno State said we can't turn it over, give them easy buckets. We have to put pressure on Marquette. Instead, fast break points, 14-0. So what are the second half adjustments?
Well, Fresno State, they got to take care of the basketball. 10 turnovers, way too many. And drive the ball at the rim. Swing the ball side to side, Card, and they can beat them individually. Go to the rim and get fouled. Marquette, you don't have to do much adjustments, but keep running the offense through Fisher, who's been playing great, and push their break because they got 14 points off their fast break. So the big thing, Fresno State, I'm eternal optimist. It's not over yet, even though it might seem like a real gigantic challenge, but it's a long, long game, but it starts with their defense.
Hopkins out of the half finds Williams for the dunk. Now Hopkins gets the assist there, but he and Watson, who averaged 28 points per game between them, only 3 points in the first half between Hopkins and Watson.
Two terrific players. Credit the defense by Marquette, and then foul trouble, of course, right by Hopkins. And a good ball pressure now if you're Fresno State. I would double him, Carter. Just backing him in, forget about it. All right, can't do it.
Now late double, and it's a foul on Russo. And that is Russo's second foul.
He's so big, he's so thick. Backs him in. He's nice and comfortable. He's got a nice left-handed hook. Second team preseason All Big East. I think he deserves it.
Pete, you've been on a bench like for Fresno State where you...
Yeah, I've been there a lot of times.
You're going into halftime, you're talking about adjustments you're making, and then you come out. All right, one good offensive possession.
Right.
A late double team, a foul.
Yeah, now you're depressed. You want to go home and see what, you want to see Law and Order reruns. You don't feel like watching this anymore.
That's why Jerry Wainwright, the associate head coach, is in charge of the defense. That's why he's looking especially droopy after that possession.
He doesn't look good. We love Jerry. He's a great coach, but right now he's sick.
A turnabout's fair play because Jerry had quite a few stories about the five-star days with Pete Gillen. So now you get the microphone, you get to bag on Jerry a little bit.
He threw me off the bridge a couple of times, Carter.
Fisher attacks on the bounce from Howard.
You got to get help. Nice pick and roll.
Jerry Wainwright, who was an assistant here the last couple of years under Buzz Williams, including that 2013 when they won the Big East and Elite Eight run. So,
yeah. Jerry's a coach's coach from Chicago, great coach, class guy, and Rodney Terry was his assistant, as you know, at UNC Wilmington. So he brought him back. Gotta pressure him now. Gotta pressure Marcus Howard. Great shooter, but you got to get into him if you're Fresno. Your Marquette, just keep being patient, go inside to the big guy.
Knocked away on the post. It's taken away by Bryson Williams.
Terrible angle.
That's just the fourth steal for Fresno State. They average 10 a game. Russo in the paint. Kick out to Taylor for three. And Jamel Taylor knocks it down. So Fresno State a little life to begin the second half, but it's still Marquette by 15. Marquette by 15 on Fresno State, Pete.
Yeah, they're doing a good job down to pick and roll. Here we see a nice move by Marcus Howard, comes off the ball screen here. All right, and there's no help. Guy in that left corner's got to help out for Fresno State. No help. Nice pass, and Fisher with the roll and the basket. So more defense that time by the Bulldogs. You got to get help. Nice pass that time by the freshman, Marcus Howard.
11 for Luke Fisher. So Fisher has executed well inside. The Golden Eagles have knocked down the threes from outside, and they are rolling. Coming off of a Sunday game, so you have a quick Monday, then Tuesday night roll right into another home game.
Exactly. Once again, sometimes you get a big lead, as Marquette did. You let up a little bit. You think the game's over. So you got to keep playing. It's turning to go. They got a big lead, but once again, Fresno State's not going to quit.
And what's impressive to me, Pete, for Marquette during this stretch is Cheatham with the power dribble underneath, taken away inside. I mean, they have done their scoring tonight in the last 3 games without much from Hanif Cheatham.
Yep, Hanif's a terrific player. Made the all-rookie team, as you know, in the Big East last season.
Only 13 points in the last 3 games from Cheatham, and Marquette is still averaging over 90 points per game during this stretch.
Yeah, they're playing great. The freshmen really a big surprise. We knew they're good players, but to step in on the road. Hauser getting 19 points on the road. Big road victory against Georgia. That's really, really impressive.
So Sam Hauser, first collegiate road game. 19 points, 7 for 10 shooting, 0 turnovers Sunday at Georgia. First time on the road.
Amazing. Best player on the floor for Marquette.
His younger brother Joey All-State as well at Stevens Point High School.
School to recruit him also.
Yep. Marquette just one of the schools after the younger Hauser. As Sam misses that one, Russo has the board. One back-to-back state title. Sam Hauser was the Gatorade Player of the Year, leading Stevens Point to that second straight state title last year. Russo cans the 3. Good sign for Fresno State as Cullen Russo hits his first field goal of the game. Was 0 for 5 shooting before Russo knocks that one down. Hauser stepping in. Missed the last one. He's not going to miss the second wide open 3.
That's confidence. Sometimes freshmen wouldn't shoot that. They make that extra pass. Can't leave him wide open.
7 threes in the game for Hauser. Russo again. That's back-to-back makes for Russo after his cold start.
With the dueling three-point contest, favor Marquette. 39% for them from the field. And Fresno State's not shooting that well. That's 34.
Cheatham off the bounce. Wilson traveled with it. So back to Fresno State despite back-to-back threes from Russo. It's Marquette still with a double-digit lead on the Bulldogs.
They owe him some money.
What was a 22-point game is down to 12. Jerry Wainwright in the Fresno State huddle breaking it down defensively.
We're not going to run to it now. We're back in the game. When this guy comes off, he rolls. This bottom guy here has got to take him. He's got to take him. All right? Which means this top guy has got, you got to full rotate. You move when the ball is passed on the roll. As the ball's in the air, you got to get back in there.
Dead ball right now. We're going short on double.
Jerry's talking about how to defend the pick and roll. When they pick, the big guy rolls, they got to get weak side help, Carter, got to get in the lane. We saw Fisher got the roll in the layup before, so he says, we got to get the weak side guy, get over there early, take the roll man. So right now the problem for Fresno State is the defense, right? They get 53 points. That's why Jerry's the secretary of defense, so he's trying to help them, get back in the game here defensively.
Now, I noticed Jerry Wainwright was going with the board that time, not going with the hand puppets that he says he sometimes has to utilize to get this guy's attention to the huddle, right?
Yeah, Jerry is a comedian for sure, but terrific coach, but long way to go. But I tell you, Wojo's doing a great job. His third year, it's a terrific recruits, and I think they're going to be much better than 7th in the Big East.
Watson fouled on the three-point shot, so he will have 3 free throws and a chance to cut this down to single digits after Marquette led by 22 as Cheatham commits the foul on the three-point shooter.
The rule in coaching, never foul a shooter, but never ever foul a three-point shooter. So as a coach, that really burns you, and that happens. For Fresno State now, you got to make a pay. You got to make these 3.
Watson, who has only 3 points in the game and now 4, averages over 14. And Cheatham gives him a chance to double up on his point total. Watson, the senior from Paradise Valley High School. He and Jerron Hopkins played AAU ball together growing up in Arizona. Actually played for an AAU team out of Compton, but when Jerron Hopkins was looking to leave Colorado, decided to transfer to Fresno State and play alongside of Watson. They're both averaging over 14 points per game for Fresno State. Watson gets all 3. So we're down to a 9-point game.
Once again, Marquette now, they don't have a pure point guard in the game right now. Reinhardt's terrific, Rousey's excellent, but they're not pure point guards. So pressure them if you're Fresno. If you're Marquette, get the ball inside to the big fella. Get it to Luke Fisher. They cannot guard him.
Cheatham off the bounce. Back into the hands of Rousey for 3 in the corner, and it goes down. The 8th made 3 of the game for Marquette.
When that happens out, Carter, they pick and pop, they're hurting you. You got to switch on those screens. Switch on the perimeter if you're Fresno State. Any ball screen, unless it's your center, switch.
Taylor takes it inside off of Johnson, and Fresno State keeps it. 15 to shoot. Hopkins into Taylor, a lot of contact, and sure enough, an offensive foul on Bryson Williams.
Look, yeah, a little hip at the end. Yeah, very strict on it. You can't move anything. Ooh. Russo almost got another foul. Right now, Marquette's doing a nice job on the pick and roll. I would switch the pick and roll if I'm Fresno State now. The roll guy is free card a lot of times for those open shots, picking and pop.
Cheatham inside, beating Fisher again. 13 in the game for Luke Fisher. Russo thought about the 3. Russo lines it up. Fight for the rebound, won by Rousey. The 5'10" Rousey grabs the board.
Guard's got a rebound.
Reinhardt can't hit the triple in transition. Skip to the corner for Paul Watson. Contested 3, boarded by Johnson.
Not a good shot. Be a little more patient if you're Fresno State.
Johnson to Fisher on the post again. Reach in foul committed by Bryson Williams. That's his 2nd.
It's a mismatch in the low post. Fifth-year senior Luke Fisher against Bryson Williams, a talented freshman, but still trying to adjust to Division I college basketball at a high level.
Rousey with the inbound to Johnson. They use Fisher basically as a decoy. Johnson coming from the other side, and a beautiful inbounds play for Marquette to push the lead back to 16. Into Terrell Carter in the post around Fisher. Well, when Carter's been able to stay on the floor, he has been a presence inside for the Bulldogs.
Exactly. Now, he's tough to guard. Big, wide body. The stories now. Hopkins, leading scorer for Fresno State. No points, Carter. 0 for 1 from the field.
Fisher off the lob. Taken away. Russo into the hands of Taylor. Taylor attacks and draws a foul in transition. Off the steal by Fresno State. Getting into transition, which is what the Bulldogs wanted to do from the start, but it started rolling for Fresno State once they were down by 22.
Exactly. Big guy, Terrell Carter, nice move, that left hand, nice soft touch. Big guy, you can't guard me. Toughest place to guard anybody, Carter, is in the low post, in my opinion. If you know what you're doing, and you seal, you have a target hand, you're gonna get a great percentage shot, or you're gonna get fouled. So you gotta learn post D, and if the guy's a king and you're a jack, you gotta double him. So I would double Luke Fisher every time.
Well, Jamel Taylor at the line, the junior from LA, who had 19 points Saturday versus Drake. See Russo checking out, Jerron Hopkins coming back in.
Make this, put the pressure on now if you're Fresno State. Full court pressure. Try to get some steals. Taylor can pressure Rousey. He's a very good player, but he's a scoring point guard. Gonna get on him. He's too much space.
Tipped away by Watson. Fresno State starts to apply the pressure.
Ronnie Terry coaching every dribble, really competing. Did a wonderful job last year, leading Fresno State to the NCAA tournament. Upset San Diego State final in the Mountain West.
Rodney Terry, a hilltopper from St. Edward's University in Austin. 9 to shoot. Johnson off the bounce, trying to find Fisher. Taken away by Jamel Taylor. Taylor stops the dribble. Watson off the bounce. Taylor tries a three and buries it. And Fresno State has cut it to 9 again.
I would call a timeout now if I'm Steve Wojciechowski. Stop the bleeding. Doesn't have a veteran. Rousey's a young man, redshirt junior, transferred from UNC Asheville.
Johnson into the paint, guarded by Hopkins. Juwan Johnson around Hopkins for a tough two for Juwan Johnson. 10 in the game now.
He gets better and better every year, Juwan Johnson. Terrific athlete.
Hopkins finds a slipping Terrell Carter for an easy dunk. And trying to see if we have... we're going to check to see if they've given a tee to Terrell Carter for hanging on the rim after the dunk. You can understand why. Well, the good news for Fresno State, you've cut a 22-point lead down to 9, starting to get some momentum. The bad news, technical foul called on Terrell Carter for hanging on the rim after the dunk. Now, if you're hanging on the rim for safety reasons because there's somebody below you, that's fine. But if you just go for a little ride, that draws a tee.
Exactly. He can't swing. He's swinging there. Nobody was around him. Maybe he thought there was, but nobody was around him. Good call. No question about it. Lamar Simpson with a technical call. Good call against Terrell Carter.
Now for Fresno State, they have won games at Drake. That was in overtime. They won at Oregon State. So you have 2 road wins on the year, but this is... And here's the foul, the technical foul shots coming from Rousey. 1 shot. Back to the point of interruption. Marquette basketball.
Marquette basketball.
So Fresno State trying to pick up a little full court.
I like it. Keep the pressure on. Really try to pressure. All right, Reinhardt's an excellent player, but he's not a point guard. He's a 2 or a 3. I'm Paul Watson. I'm pressuring him. You got Marquette go inside. They can't guard the big fella. Go to the big guy. Let the big dog eat.
Johnson down the baseline. Around Carter. Fisher gets a follow dunk. Back to a 12-point edge. 15 in the game for Luke Fisher.
That time, Juwan Johnson drove to the basket. All the Fresno State plays went on him. Nobody screened out Luke Fisher. Dunk.
Taylor off the bounce. Poke from behind by Johnson. Manages to hang on. That's on the floor. Jamel Taylor fouled on the floor. Back to that follow dunk by Fisher.
Nice drive by Juwan Johnson, a senior. Missed shot. Bang. Got to screen him out. All the defenders came on to Juwan Johnson. Nobody screened out Luke Fisher. Dunk.
Foul was on Cheatham, just his second. Hopkins inbound, banked off the window by Deshaun Taylor.
Nice execution on the out-of-bounds play.
Fresno State just its 3rd game ever against an opponent out of the Big East. And the first time they played on the road. March of '82, lost to Georgetown in the tournament. December '91, lost to Villanova in Honolulu. Cheatham missing Fisher, another follow, lay-in around Carter. 2nd straight stick-back bucket for Luke Fisher.
Terrific offensive rebound, the same thing. Everybody picked up the driver. Leave Cheatham, and he went right to the basket.
Hopkins misses a shot for Fresno State. That's just the 2nd shot that he has attempted in the game. Reinhardt, wide open 3. Rebound corralled by Taylor. Back into the hands of Jamel Taylor. In the paint, looking for Hopkins. Taylor lost it on the floor. Picked up in the corner by Watson. Cutting Hopkins. Draws a foul on Fisher, floating to the hole.
Yep. Good recovery that time. But Fisher gets in foul trouble a lot because he helps out with the guards. Nice pass by Watson. Good call. Moved at the end with the body.
Hopkins, who has yet to score in the game, picked up the 2 fouls early, clearly took him out of his rhythm. First point for a guy who averages over 14 a game. Hopkins, who had the game winner in overtime Saturday at Drake. That win dropped Drake to 1-7. And Ray Giacoletti resigning earlier today as head coach at Drake, just 8 games into the season.
It's too bad. We had them up at the Great Alaska Shootout on CBS Sports Network. They went 0 for 3 up there. And Ray Giacoletti's a fine coach. Sad to see him resign, but it's going to be a long season for the Drake Bulldogs.
Marcus Howard will reset. Back into the hands of Juwan Johnson. 9 to shoot. Howard off the screen from Hauser. Johnson with 4 to shoot. On the attack. Draws a double on the baseline. Shot clock violation by Marquette. Would have been a turnover out of bounds, but the best defensive possession for Fresno State.
Good focus. Wojciechowski fired up. You're Marquette, you got to play good solid D now. Don't foul. Keep the guy in front of you. You're Fresno, take a good shot. Got to get the ball to Hopkins or Watson.
Feeding Carter inside. Down to an 8-point game. It was 19 at the half. Marquette led by as many as 22 in the first half.
Sometimes when you have new players, young players, Carter, you might lose a little focus. Still trying to find themselves, especially defensively for Marquette. They're not there yet defensively.
Juwan Johnson, that's a foul on the floor called on Watson. Second personal on Watson. You get Caden Reinhardt back in the game for Marquette, subbing in for Cheatham.
From Marquette, from Coach Wojciechowski, I'd consider putting Tracy Carter back in. One pure point guard, Carter, to help run the team.
Juwan Johnson spinning inside, knocked away by Jerron Hopkins. This is a totally different defensive effort from Fresno State in the second half than what we saw in the first.
Much better. More focused, helping each other more aggressive.
Baseline inbounds to Hauser. And now Howard will reset.
Pick and roll, I would switch if I'm Fresno State, except with the big guy. Got to get help with the big guy rolling now.
9 to shoot, Johnson in the corner. Long three missed, into the hands of Taylor. Running the Bulldogs, Jamel Taylor, sidestep. Offensive foul called on Jamel Taylor. Charge.
Moving, bad call. That's a block. He goes, look at his feet. Move, you got to be set there for a full second, Carter. Official's done a good job, but that was a bad call.
So mark it down as a turnover, and what Fresno State had a chance to cut it down to 6. And now a foul on the defensive end against the Bulldogs. So Fresno State has fought their way back into it. Can Marquette separate for a 5th straight win?
Hey there, Marquette basketball fans. I'm Fox 6 meteorologist Stephanie Bartell with your forecast. We are talking a big temperature change over the next couple of days, and it starts tonight. Milwaukee overnight lows dropping to around 21 degrees, and then looking ahead to tomorrow, high temperatures in the upper 20s, plus a 10 to 20 mile-per-hour wind speed. That's what make it feel more like teens. A few peaks of sunshine possible in there. Always stay up to date there. Fox 6 Sports Center app for you for Avalanche.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to tonight's Friends Bank Future Fanatic of the game. Alexander is 4 years old, joining us from Alani Falls. Alexander wins a free membership to the Marquette Kids Club. For more information on your kids, join the coolest club in town.
In the second half, Fresno State has outscored Marquette 31 to 20. So the Bulldogs have executed your second half adjustments very well.
Exactly. Well, what they did right now, you know, on the adjustments here, they got to take care of the basketball. They're doing a much better job taking care of the ball, Fresno State. And we see it here. All right, they had 12 turnovers, only 3 in the second half, and Marquette run the offense through Fisher. They're doing that, 17 points, 7-8 from the field. So if you're, you know, the Golden Eagles, keep going through Fisher in your offense.
How about Fresno State? I mean, you see so many times, all right? It's a 22-point game. You whittle it down, you get into single digits, and then you can't make any more progress. I mean, what are you telling your guys if you're Rodney Terry in that Fresno State huddle?
You just got to dig it down. Keep doing what we're doing, all right? Right now, they got a young team. They got a lot of new guys at Marquette, so it's not over yet. Once again, they're down 8 points, Carter. That's 3 possessions. You know, if you're Marquette, hey, let's keep going to the big guy. Let's drive the basketball. So you're going to have a nice finish. But
Marquette only 1 field goal in the last 3 minutes, 11 seconds. So 47 points in the first half for Marquette, continuing the pace that they've been on the last 5 games. Only 20 points in the second half, 1 field goal in 3 minutes plus.
So again, you got 2 freshmen on the floor for Marquette who are outstanding young players, but they're still young. So on these ball screens, I would switch.
Johnson in the corner.
The ball to Luke Fisher. Take him, Luke.
Draws a double. They dig in, almost get the steal. Back into the hands of Fisher, and a foul on Carter. Had it defended nearly perfectly, but the bounce goes Marquette's way, and another foul on Carter.
Nice job. They doubled, almost had the ball. Couldn't get it. Nice pass by Hauser.
So Fisher gets 2, and the 6'11", 50-year senior now with 18 points in the game. On 7 for 8. That 75% field goal percentage is going to go up.
Yeah. Well, once again, it's the toughest place to guard somebody's a low post. And if, you know, you got to do a job defending him, and then if he gets, you got to double early, Carter. They double him too late when they do double.
Hopkins draws a foul on Fisher. Pete, you pointed out how Fisher can get in foul trouble because he helps out so much.
Exactly. The guards, perimeter guys from Marquette are very fine players. They don't guard the ball great, Carter. So when they get beaten here, we see Juwan Johnson gets beaten. Fisher helped too much. He helped 1 step. He went 3 steps, and he got a foul.
On the floor, just 5 team fouls against Marquette. 3rd personal on Fisher. Watson, Russo off the shot fake. Step into for Russo. That's a solid play by the senior from Minnesota. 9 in the game for Cullen Russo.
Very good player, very talented. Right now it's about Fresno State's defense. Keep going inside the big Luke. Cannot guard him.
Johnson for the elbow. Tough one because Hopkins was right there to bother the shot, but Juwan Johnson, 12 in the game, pushing the lead back to 9.
Juwan Johnson's a terrific player. It's better and better each year, Carter. Improves on something.
Carter has it on the post. Backing in on Fisher. Rejected inside by Fisher. Carter right back up. And a foul called, the 4th personal on Luke Fisher.
Yeah, we're backing him in. Yep, he did. He reached over. He got him.
Marquette fans don't like it.
No, they don't like it, but I think the second time he did get him.
So Fisher's going to take a seat, picking up his 4th at the 6:38 mark. Matt Held has played only 4 minutes in the game, but they were a solid 4 minutes.
Yeah, he did a good job. Held's a good player. They go inside once again. Pump fake, because Held loves to try to block shots. Shoulder ball. Chuck Daly, the violent pump fake. Players don't do that anymore. They just try to jump over you.
Carter gets 1 of 2, 13 points off the bench for Terrell Carter. Despite the foul problems, Carter has been a presence inside for the Bulldogs.
What Fresno State trying to do now, keep the ball away from the point guard right now, Marcus Howard. Try to disrupt their offense.
Bulldogs extending out.
Right now, Marquette does not have that score consistently inside with help.
So Howard off the bounce of 5 to shoot. Into the hands of Hauser. Russo commits the foul on Hauser with 3 seconds on the shot clock. 3rd on Russo.
3 seconds, you get no time and score. Good call, he whacked them. It's not smart hustle. He's trying, but it's not smart hustle.
So Hauser to the line for 2. In the game for Hauser after he had 19 Sunday in the road win at Georgia. 22. Rare miss for Hauser from the free throw line. Missed dunk. Marquette brings it back. Johnson stripped from behind by Russo. Marquette keeps it. And what are becoming valuable possessions in a 9-point game with 6 to go.
Exactly. Every possession's vital right now. Marquette does a real nice job in her out-of-bounds plays.
Johnson behind the screen. In tight, stepped on the baseline. Turnover back into the hands of the Bulldogs.
Yep, good call. Right there. Jeff Clark, who's a very good official, saw that one. Marquette, good solid defense.
Into the post. Carter wants it. Carter backing in on help. The turnaround for the big man from LA, Terrell Carter. The hook, 15 in the game. And we have a 7-point game in Milwaukee. Fresno State on the comeback. Fresno State looked lifeless at times in the first half, getting down by 22, but not so much anymore, Pete.
No, nice job. Toughest place to guard somebody's a low post. Terrell Carter backs his man in, gets over help. Nice fish. Luke Fisher, fifth-year senior's out of the game. Helt's a solid player, but he's not 6'11", 275. Terrell Carter, big guy inside. Gets tired sometimes, so see if he's got the stamina to finish.
Fisher on the bench right now with 4 personal fouls for Marquette. Golden Eagles have won 4 straight. Fresno State has won 3 straight, including Saturday in overtime against Drake. Johnson pull up from the elbow. Long rebound taken by Carter. Fresno State ball in a 7-point game.
A good look by Marquette.
Into the post again. Carter backing in on Helt again. Spinning, laying it in. 17 in the game for Terrell Carter. And from down 22 in the first half, it's a 5-point game.
I go to Juwan Johnson now. Reverse the ball, have him drive it. I think he can go by Hopkins.
Back to Howard with 10 to shoot. Off the side screen from Helt. Howard underneath. Kick out. Hauser for 3. Just when Marquette needed it, Sam Hauser steps into the 3. 15 in the game for the freshman. And the crowd back into it with an 8-point lead.
Freshman to freshman. Howard found him. Hauser made the pay.
Russo backs it out, finding a slipping Carter. With a power dribble on the post. Carter can't bank this one home. Into the hands of Johnson. As Marquette seizes control again.
Exactly. Fans back into the game. I think they got put to sleep. They thought it was going to be a laugher.
Howard, sloppy turnover. Hopkins, a run-out dunk. And Fresno State gets the first bucket of the game for Teron Hopkins.
Tremendous player. 2-possession game, Carter. I didn't think it would be saying that at halftime. I get Luke Fisher back in the game now for Marquette.
Here he comes. Oh, reach in. Called on Taylor. So from 22 down to 6 with 3:25 to go.
College basketball on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Bass Pro Shops. Your adventure starts here. College basketball on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Bass Pro Shops. Your adventure starts here.
Back in the Bradley Center in downtown Milwaukee, Al McGuire Court. Marquette, 47 points in the first half, just 27 in the second.
Still shooting well from the field, but some turnovers. Not as hot from three-point land. But a big story, I think, it's Fresno State. Right now, they're shooting 57% from the field. Right, doing a great job, and you know, from the three-point land, 57%. So they're doing a much better job, I think, Fresno offensively. And once again, sometimes as a team, you get a big lead subconsciously, not the coaches, just the players. You know, you can get a little, lose some focus. I think that's what might have happened for Marquette.
Golden Eagles 6 turnovers in the first half, 7 already in the second half so far. Howard gets the first of 2. Push the Marquette lead back to 8.
You get a stop now if you're Marquette. Don't foul, get a stop.
Russo fakes the 3. Looking for help in the paint. Has to kick it. Hopkins. Floater. No. Johnson has the board. Have Luke Fisher back in the game beat. Looked like that affected the shot by Hopkins.
Exactly. No, he changed that shot a little bit. Hopkins saw him. Good move, getting him back in the game. Got to play aggressive. Play to win, not to lose. It's a difference.
So Fisher on the floor with 4 personals for Marquette. Back into the hands of the freshman point guard Howard. 7 to shoot. Howard, 2-man game with Fisher. Lost it out of bounds. Off of Fresno State, only 4 seconds to shoot.
Big Terrell Carter had to get a little rest. Got a big body on a big body now.
Howard into the corner. Reinhardt. Good look on the inbounds, but back into the hands of Fresno State. Hopkins on the run to Russo. Gonna call a blocking foul on Howard. Stopping the clock with 2:33 and sending Russo to the free throw line.
Good call by Lamar Simpson. Try to get under there. Reinhardt's one of your best shooters, Carter. Nice look for Marquette.
3rd foul on Howard, and you see Russo trying to gather himself before he goes to the line. A 71% foul shooter, but he is only 1 for 4 from the free throw line tonight. Make it 1 for 5.
Yep. Free throws win or lose a lot of games.
Russo gets the second. Pretty quiet here. You can tell the Marquette fans are nervous after seeing a 22-point lead whittled down to 5, and now still a tight game when they thought this was going to be a blowout all the way through.
Yep, it looked like it, but credit Fresno State for coming back.
Fisher with 9 to shoot. Passes out. Finds Johnson. Opposite for 3. Back into the hands of Russo.
Great look inside out. Excellent offense, just didn't go down.
With a minute 57 to go, can Fresno State come back to steal one on the road at Marquette? Hopkins off the bounce. Inside to Carter for the lay-in. Hopkins somehow kept it alive and finds Terrell Carter again. 19 in the game for Carter. Back to a 5-point edge.
Nice job. Post defense, Carter. Toughest place to guard somebody in the low post if they know what they're doing.
Timeout. Steve Wojciechowski in Marquette with a minute 27. Trying to hang on for a 5th straight win.
Good timeout by Steve Wojciechowski. It's again, 2-possession game, but the clock's your best friend. We don't want a jump shot now. I'd reverse the ball and drive the ball if I'm Marquette. Try to get to the free throw line. You're in a bonus situation.
Tomorrow, 6:30 Eastern. Join us for Inside College Football, the Heisman Special, presented by Nissan. Here on the 24-hour home with CBS Sports. And, you know, Pete Gillen, college baseball player, college basketball player, but you're amphibious. You can go anywhere, including on the football field.
Exactly. Land C. Now, I think the Heisman Trophy pick for me is Deshaun Watson. He makes some mistakes, but he's aggressive. They won the Atlantic Coast Conference Championship. I think he's a special player. He's a winner, 37 touchdowns. Yes, he has some interceptions, but he's special. Can hurt you with his feet or his arm. I'm not as cerebral in football as you are, but I go with Deshaun Watson from the Clemson Tigers.
All right, you heard it from Pete Gillen. And now back to hoops with a minute 24. Howard into the corner. This is Hauser. Rims out. Carter has the board.
2 shots in and out. That's why you don't want a 3, Carter, in that situation.
Hopkins behind the back in the paint. Missed the dunk. Into the hands of Russo. There for the follow. And with a minute 3, it's a 3-point game.
1-possession game now.
Russo nearly steals it in the corner, but he commits the foul, sending Hauser the line. So the foul 93 feet from the hoop with 57 seconds on Russo, and that's his 4th personal.
Yeah, Hauser's an excellent free throw shooter. He's a freshman, but I think he's got a lot of poise. I think he'll make these. 1-possession game. We didn't see this coming.
Hauser gets the first. Fresno State has won 11 straight 1-possession games. Hauser gets the second. It's a 2-possession game at this point with 57 seconds left. The Marquette crowd gets behind their Golden Eagles as Hopkins brings it up. Back into the hands of Watson. This is Russo turning the corner, trying to find Carter. Kick it back out. Watson 3. Timeout Fresno State. The 3 goes down to make it a 2-point game with 39 seconds left.
Great penetration to the basket. All the defenders on Marquette swarmed on him. Threw it out to Watson. Watson nailed the 3. Clutch shooting by Paul Watson, 6'7" senior. Calling Russo, nice pass. Carter was smart enough. They left him alone. Watson buried a 3. 2-point lead now for Marquette Golden Eagles.
Saturday, Fresno State went to overtime, winning on the road at Drake. Staying on the road, coming up to Milwaukee, and they have taken what was a blowout in the first half down to a 2-point game with 39 seconds left. So if you're Marquette now, Pete, up 2 with the ball, 39 seconds, where do you go?
What I want to do is reverse the ball. All right, wait till about 8 seconds and look to drive it. Get it to Luke Fisher, get the big guy the ball, but take your time. The clock is your best friend. Swing it side to side. Try to go into Luke Fisher. If not, whoever has the ball with 8 or 7 seconds, you'll drive the ball, Carter. Try to make the referees make a call. If you're Fresno State now, excuse me, all right, you don't want to foul. You got plenty of time. 9 seconds is an eternity. So play good D, don't foul, all right, and try to get the rebound and push it. You're only down 2.
Only time that Fresno State led this game was when it was 2-0. You go back just 13 minutes ago, Marquette led by 16. And it's been whittled down to 2. Fresno State will pick up full court. What a remarkable win it would be for the Bulldogs. Well, back-to-back road wins, including their first road game ever at a Big East opponent.
Rodney Terry, credit him, did a great job bringing his squad back, but he wants to win. He doesn't want any type of moral victory.
Into the hands of Howard. The freshman point guard gets it across. Hopkins reaches in. He was going for the steal and commits the foul with 36 seconds left.
No doubt it was a foul. There you go. Nailed him. No doubt about it.
2 shots here for Howard. 3 for 3 from the foul line for the freshman point guard. So a chance to make it a 2-possession game. I mean, Hopkins goes all out going for the steal.
Howard has not missed a free throw so far this season.
Still perfect 2-possession game. Marquette by 4. Fresno State needs to score in a hurry. Taylor into the hands of Hopkins. Back to Carter with the power dribble. Carter goes straight up, spins it in. 2-point game. Shot clock turned off now with 24.7. Johnson in the corner, he's trapped, and a foul given. So that'll send Johnson to the line for 2. Marquette in the double bonus. Foul was on Hopkins, his 4th. Got the first to 2. So that's 3 straight free throw makes for Marquette down the stretch.
If he misses, it'll only be up 3. I would foul Carter under 12 seconds. If he makes it, play regular D. Regular D, no foul if you're Marquette.
Makes it 2-possession game with 23 seconds.
You're Fresno, you don't need a 3 unless you're wide open. Plenty of time left. With the drive the basketball to the rim. Or score with the clock stop.
Jamel Taylor into the hands of Hopkins. Off the bounce. Hopkins feeding Russo inside. Missed it. Rebounded by Hauser. Foul given with 12.6. It rolls out for Russo. And Marquette has a chance to close it out at the free throw line.
Yep. Nice drive by Hopkins. Good pass. Should have used the left hand. Use the weak hand on that time. Hopkins with a great pass, good catch. Tries to shoot it with the right hand.
And Russo gives the foul. That's his 5th. With Hauser to the line for 2. Oh, that's 2 free throw misses tonight for Hauser.
Not like him.
He had only 1 free throw miss on the season.
Not over yet. 2-possession game. Got to push it. 12 seconds is an eternity. Just go right to the rim now if you're Fresno State. Go right to the rim. No foul. Pack it in now if you're Marquette. Get in the lane.
Hopkins is going to take the 3. Hauser has the rebound. Marquette has the ball with a 5-point lead and 4.5 with Hauser going to the line. And what was looking like a comfortable win for Marquette got very uncomfortable in the closing minutes. But it will, barring a miracle, be a 5th straight win for the Golden Eagles with Hauser going to the line for 2. $19 in the game for Hauser after he had 19 on Sunday in the road win at Georgia. And the outstanding freshman from Stevens Point. 1 of 2 on this trip. 6 points. Hopkins 3. It goes, but that will only affect the final score. Marquette wins it 84-81. Stretched until the final seconds by Fresno State. So the Bulldogs go to 5-3. Marquette 7-2 on the year. 5 straight wins for Marquette. For Pete Gill and our entire crew, I'm Carter Blackburn. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. Marquette, in the end, handles the Fresno State Bulldogs. Now it's on to Wisconsin on Saturday. 84-81 the final tonight in Milwaukee. Now we send you to Inside College Basketball with Brent Stover and John Rothstein.
Tonight's game, we'd like to thank the Marquette Athletics Department staff, all of our sponsors, the Marquette Student Section and the Marquette Band, directed by Dr. Eric Janners. We also appreciate the talents of the Marquette Spirit Squad under the direction of Barry Larkin. Special thank you to Hall of Famer Jack Abrams, Lee Vanderstone,
Can I get a stats guy?
Brightly Center Video Crew for one of the best scoreboard shows in town. We'd also like to thank Music in Motion under the direction of Todd Shield.
Let's see what they scored in the second half. Yeah, but it's about to get 50 understand what that, right? Okay, can I get that story? Yeah, 1 second.
This is Mike Jakubowski, proud graduate of Marquette University. Thanks for supporting head coach.
It wins a win. We got young players. Well, I think they might have.
Our young guys are our most mature players.
Yeah. No, they're great, the young guys. I'm going to ask you about Sam Hauser, right? For, ties his career high, as you know, 19.
Good night, band. Be nice.
Ask you about. Yeah. Is he going to throw it to me or no? No, because we're all fair, right? And I just thank Steve then, right? All right, give me a second. All right, 1 second.